a quiet diplomatic envelope, a sealed message, and a royal trip that may have triggered something far bigger than anyone expected. Because according to new whispers spreading through palace corridors, the real drama of Meghan's Jordan visit may not have happened in front of cameras at all. It may have happened afterward, behind closed doors, inside the British establishment itself. And the rumor now echoing through royal circles is explosive. Jordan's palace allegedly sent a confidential note directly to the UK after Meghan's visit, raising serious questions about what exactly happened during that trip. And suddenly, the entire story looks very different. Because at first glance, the Jordan trip looked like another carefully curated Sussex moment. Cameras capturing Meghan walking through hospital corridors, holding a child's hand, offering soft smiles to doctors and aid workers while photographers documented every angle. The images spread quickly online, framed as compassion, diplomacy, global outreach. But inside royal institutions, the atmosphere was reportedly far colder. What looked like a humanitarian visit to the public may have felt like something else entirely to people watching from behind palace walls. The first sign of trouble, according to insiders, came when the Sussex team allegedly attempted to arrange a meeting with Jordan's royal family outside official channels. The approach reportedly bypassed the usual diplomatic system that working royals rely on, the system that goes through the British Foreign Office and Buckingham Palace before any royal engagement abroad. Instead, sources claim private letters were sent directly to the Jordanian court requesting an audience with King Abdullah and Queen Rania. That move alone reportedly raised eyebrows, because inside diplomatic circles, protocol is not just tradition, it is structure. It is the invisible framework that prevents international relationships from turning into personal branding opportunities. And when that framework is bypassed, governments notice. The Jordanian court reportedly did exactly that. According to palace whispers, officials in Amman checked with London almost immediately after receiving the unexpected communication. Their question was simple but politically loaded. Was this visit official or private? The answer coming from London was reportedly just as simple: private citizens. And that response appears to have changed everything, because once that clarification reached Jordanian officials, the atmosphere around the visit reportedly shifted overnight. The anticipated royal reception never materialized. Palace doors remained closed. The high-profile photo opportunity that insiders say had been quietly anticipated, Meghan standing beside Queen Rania, simply never happened. Instead, the visit unfolded without direct involvement from the Jordanian royal family. And according to sources familiar with diplomatic etiquette, that absence spoke volumes. But the real intrigue began after the Sussexes left the country, because this is where the rumors take a darker turn. According to whispers circulating in London diplomatic circles, a confidential note may have been sent from Amman to the UK shortly after the trip concluded. Not a public complaint, not a press statement. Something quieter, something far more traditional in diplomatic culture, a private communication. And if the insiders describing this message are correct, its purpose was not to accuse or attack anyone directly. Instead, the alleged note reportedly asked for clarification about something that had become deeply confusing during the visit: Meghan and Harry's status. During the visit, images of Meghan holding a young patient's hand inside a hospital spread rapidly across social media. The moment looked familiar, almost eerily familiar to longtime royal watchers. Many immediately noticed the resemblance to iconic humanitarian photos taken decades earlier by Princess Diana. The soft posture, the gentle eye contact, the carefully framed bedside image. To supporters, it looked like compassion. To critics, it looked like choreography. The comparison ignited fierce debate across royal commentary circles. Some observers praised the gesture. Others accused the Sussex team of deliberately recreating visual moments associated with Diana's legacy. Inside palace discussions, that comparison reportedly became another flashpoint, because for Prince William, Diana's humanitarian work represents something deeply personal, not a branding template to be recreated for modern publicity. According to insiders, footage from the Jordan visit was quietly reviewed during private discussions in London. What they saw reportedly raised even more questions, because in several appearances, observers noted something unexpected. Harry appeared distant, not confrontational, not angry, just withdrawn. Witnesses described him standing slightly behind Meghan during several engagements, speaking less, smiling less, almost as if the spotlight had shifted completely away from him. The dynamic caught attention. For years, the Sussex story had been framed as a united partnership, but the images from Jordan painted a subtly different picture, one where Meghan appeared energetic and highly visible, while Harry seemed strangely detached. Some insiders reportedly described him as looking exhausted. Others suggested he appeared conflicted. And inside palace discussions, that observation reportedly sparked a quieter deeper, more personal conversation about his role in everything that had unfolded. Because once the diplomatic questions were set aside, one uncomfortable reality remained. The Jordan visit had triggered global debate about authenticity, image, and the increasingly complicated identity of the Sussex brand. What began as a humanitarian trip had evolved into something else entirely: a diplomatic puzzle, a public relations storm, and possibly the reason a confidential note from a foreign palace quietly landed on British desks. And according to royal watchers, that may have been the moment when the monarchy decided it could no longer ignore the confusion surrounding Harry and Meghan's international activities. The sealed message from Jordan may never be publicly confirmed, but inside palace corridors, the rumor alone appears to have changed the conversation. And if insiders are right, the real fallout from Meghan's visit may still be unfolding behind closed doors in London. If the alleged confidential message from Jordan truly reached London, insiders say it did not sit quietly on a desk for long. Because the moment that note entered palace channels, the conversation inside the British establishment reportedly shifted from irritation to something much more serious. What had originally been treated as another controversial Sussex headline suddenly started looking like a diplomatic puzzle that the monarchy could no longer afford to ignore. In royal circles, the fear was not just about one trip to the Middle East. It was about a growing international confusion that had been building quietly for years. Confusion about who exactly speaks for the crown and who does not. According to whispers circulating among royal aides, the confidential communication from Jordan allegedly carried a tone that was calm but unmistakably firm. It reportedly did not accuse anyone directly, but it did raise a delicate issue that governments rarely discuss publicly. The note, according to sources familiar with the matter, allegedly asked whether the Duke and Duchess of Sussex still held any form of representational authority when traveling internationally under their royal titles. That single question reportedly forced palace officials into a difficult position. Because the answer was obvious in theory, Harry and Meghan stepped away from official duties years ago. Yet in practice, the situation had become far more complicated. Their titles still opened doors. Their global recognition still carried the aura of royalty. And in many parts of the world, the distinction between private individuals and members of the royal family remained deeply blurred. According to insiders, that blurred line had now collided directly with international protocol in Jordan, and suddenly the palace needed to respond. Behind the walls of Windsor and Buckingham Palace, quiet consultations reportedly began almost immediately after the rumors of the message surfaced. Senior aides allegedly started examining the larger patterns surrounding Sussex activities abroad, the high-profile speeches, the humanitarian appearances, the carefully produced documentary footage, and the growing perception that the couple still operated within a royal orbit even after leaving it. According to palace insiders, one uncomfortable conclusion quickly emerged from those discussions. The Sussex brand had become powerful enough that it sometimes created diplomatic misunderstandings even when no official role existed. And if a foreign government had truly felt compelled to seek clarification, the monarchy could no longer treat the issue as a minor family dispute. It had become institutional. That realization reportedly fueled the next stage of internal conversations about boundaries. Princess Anne, long known for her uncompromising loyalty to royal duty, was said to be among the strongest voices pushing for change. According to insiders familiar with the discussions, she argued that the monarchy could not allow situations where foreign courts believed private commercial activities were linked to the crown. For Anne, the issue was not Meghan's hospital visit, nor Harry's rehabilitation center appearance, nor even the cameras following them across Jordan. The issue was perception. If global audiences believed those appearances carried royal authority, the credibility of the institution itself could slowly erode. Sources say she warned that allowing such ambiguity to continue would create a dangerous precedent for the future. And that warning reportedly resonated strongly with Prince William. For him, the situation touched something deeper than protocol. It touched legacy. William has spent years defending the humanitarian reputation built by his mother, Princess Diana, and more recently supporting Catherine's carefully structured royal work. According to insiders, the imagery circulating from the Jordan visit, the hospital bedside moments, the football field photographs, the comparisons spreading across social media triggered frustration inside his circle. Online discussions exploded with accusations, defenses, speculation, and commentary from royal watchers around the world. What was meant to project compassion instead triggered a storm of questions about authenticity, optics, and family dynamics. And perhaps most telling of all were the images captured during the couple's departure from Amman. Observers studying the footage noticed something subtle but impossible to ignore: the emotional distance between them. Harry appeared quiet, almost almost withdrawn, while Meghan continued interacting with photographers and local staff. For critics, those images became symbolic of a deeper imbalance within the Sussex partnership. For supporters, they were simply the exhaustion of a demanding international trip. But inside palace discussions, the footage reportedly fueled a different kind of speculation. Some aides quietly wondered whether Harry himself had begun to realize how complicated the Sussex strategy had become. Because once the cameras stopped rolling and the diplomatic questions began circulating, the cost of that strategy suddenly looked much higher. If the rumors are correct, the confidential note from Jordan may have acted as a catalyst for that realization. It forced the British establishment to confront a difficult truth. The Sussex story was no longer just a family drama played out in interviews and documentaries. It had crossed into the realm of international perception. And once that happens, institutions move to protect themselves. Whether the alleged note from Jordan ever becomes public may not matter in the end. In diplomacy, the most powerful messages are often the ones that never appear in headlines. The sealed envelope, the quiet clarification, the discreet conversation between governments trying to prevent a misunderstanding from turning into something larger. What matters is the ripple effect those messages create behind closed doors. And according to royal insiders, the ripple from Meghan's Jordan visit is still spreading through the corridors of power in London. Because if one foreign palace quietly asked London to clarify the Sussex status, others may be wondering the same thing. The monarchy now faces a delicate balancing act, protecting the dignity of the institution while managing the unpredictable global presence of two of its most famous former members. And somewhere between those two realities lies the question that continues to haunt this entire saga. Was the Jordan visit simply another controversial chapter in the Sussex story, or was it the moment that forced the palace to finally redraw the boundaries of modern royalty?